Hello and welcome to an Ocedo video guide. The Ocedo system is a line of cloud-managed gateways, wireless access points, and switches, which are used to connect your entire company together like never before. In this session, we'll show you how using the Ocedo system gives you total visibility into your network. We'll be continuing on from our previous sessions in future videos, but today is all about visibility. Do you know what's in your network? Every device, at every office, right now? When was the last time you mapped it? And are you constantly dealing with employees bringing in new devices? Are contractors doing work in your offices or network room? Or has someone plugged something in that they shouldn't have? Visibility is crucial to security. You absolutely cannot protect what you don't know about. With Ocedo, you always have a clear picture of your network. By having a true, centrally managed system of products designed from the ground up to work together, you are able to see everything. You'll know which devices are connected to your company network-wide in real time. You'll instantly be made aware of new devices, and you'll be able to see where each device goes and who it belongs to. Remember, Ocedo isn't just a new set of products, it's a new workflow to manage your network. Ocedo lets you plan, store, and visualize your entire network, then activate hardware to put things into production. Once deployed, you automatically gain visibility into all your locations company-wide. Today we'll show you what that looks like so you can see for yourself. To continue on, we'll need to log into the Ocedo Cloud Controller. So let's get started. Once we've logged in, we are immediately greeted by the dashboard. In the company we are using for the demo today, we've already designed our network and deployed our Ocedo products. We can see that the dashboard is presenting us with an alert that some unregistered devices have been spotted. We don't need to manually look through logs or pore over the activity reports for network devices throughout our company. Ocedo lets us know when new devices have been added. If we click on the action link here, we're taken to the unregistered devices section where we can work with them. Here we can see that a lot of new things have cropped up in the company. We see information like the MAC address, when it was last seen, the IP address it got, and some ID information that Ocedo is able to glean from each device. We also see at which office the device was detected. And for wireless devices, we'll even show you the precise access point that noticed its connection. If you happen to be using Ocedo switches, we'll even show you the precise switch and port that a wired device is plugged into anywhere in the world, all from right here within Ocedo Connect. Now let's take a moment and register a device and assign it to a user. So let's filter our unregistered list to display only those devices at our headquarters. I'll do that here and choose our HQ. Now from here, I have a new phone that I want to assign to my user. I can see it's here, it's seen a minute ago. It's an Apple iPhone, was noticed on the AP3 in the south wing. It's connected to this SSID RNP and is using a 5 GHz signal. All I need to do is click the register device button and I can assign that device to my user. So let's do that. We'll leave it as iPhone and we'll choose Angelo from the list and hit submit. Now instantly it will leave the unregistered device list and join the registered device inventory, which we'll talk about in just a minute. Now in this way, I can ensure that everything that's on the network is attributed to a user. That lets us get reporting, apply policy, and otherwise work with users instead of individual devices. We also support lots of tagging options, so you can put devices that are of the same type into the same tagging groups and easily apply policy to all of those as well. You can also register devices ahead of time. You don't have to wait for them to show up on Ocedo's radar. And then you can decide what to do with them, such as allow them access, limit them totally, or only allow them to go to certain places using our policy tool that we'll talk about in future videos. Now, if we want to register a device ahead of time or look at our registered devices, we'll simply navigate here. And now we can see all of our registered devices and what exactly they are, who they're assigned to, and where they were located when we last saw them. So let's find that iPhone I just registered. We can see that we have a few different iPhones in the company, and there's the one I assigned to me. Click on that and we get some parameters when we saw it, where it's physically located, and some information about it, such as what IP address it has. So it's no longer in the unregistered list, it's actually attributed to me, and all the activity this iPhone creates will be under my user in the accounting and the reporting system. If I want to add a new device, I can simply click the New Device button, fill in some parameters that I have available, such as the BlackBerry I'm about to assign to a new employee, and that way I don't have to wait for it to show up and then do reactive security. I can plan it ahead of time that this device will be assigned to Joan, who will join the company next week. Now, having all of these devices registered to users means that you eliminate your blind spots. A lot of times in networks, admins are simply not able to tell you which a certain box is or what it does. Maybe it was there before they got there. Maybe it's always been there and they're too scared to unplug it because they don't know what it does. Network rooms are often very complex and full of wires that go everywhere. If you look at our ports display, we're able to actually show you what's plugged in across your entire network into everything that you own, especially on the Ocedo infrastructure side. So if I have a G50 Wi-Fi here in my network room, LAN 1 is using a very simple single zone operation, and we can see that currently 23 MAC addresses have been noticed on this particular port. And if I click it where it says 23 MACs and go past the network statistic information here and over into the MACs or devices, we can actually see everything which is plugged into that particular port at that particular location. And I can do this for all my locations anywhere in the company around the world without leaving my administrator's chair. It's very easy and gives me full visibility into everything that's plugged in. And of course, I get alerts if anything new is added to the network. So nothing can exist in my company infrastructure that I don't know about. We can also see in our device inventory here that's detected on this particular switch port that there's users, devices, and all sorts of information. And rather than look through individual devices, let's have an actual look at the reverse of the information, which is the users we have and the devices that belong to them. We can go up here to the user section where we support groups as well as syncing with your Active Directory or Google applications. And we can go here to users and actually look at each individual user and the devices they have attributed to them. So if I filter for my user, Angelo, we can see that Angelo has some mobile information and an email address, as well as has all of these devices in the company that we've registered or they've registered themselves. That's right. It is possible, if you enable the onboarding portal for the employees, for them to add their own devices to the network into their particular user bucket. This way the users don't have to bother you for each individual device that they want to bring into the network, and they'll get the same permissions when you build your policy list that any device would give them that you'd assign them yourself. This can save a significant amount of time as admins are always being asked to add devices to the network using some sort of security policy that they must then account for. We can do all of that by allowing the users to bring their own devices in and add them to the policy that you've already approved them on. So we have devices, we have users, we have a registration, and we have an unregistered devices list, and all of this lets you see everything that's happening in your network in real time. How that looks is if we go down here to visibility, we can actually click on the traffic timeline, which will show us everything that's happened today in our network at a certain site or company-wide. So let's filter for just our headquarters here, and the timeline will shortly update. And this shows us all of the traffic, all the devices, all of the hosts, everything that's been accessed. Let's go down and have a look at social networking and seeing what's used today. We can see there was some Instagram usage by these particular users and their individual devices, some Facebook usage, and other typical things that you would see in a business network. Now, if we're interested in just a certain slice of the day, such as what was happening here to make this extra traffic happen, we can actually see that this was a file server that was updating its Usenet articles for the day. 6 gigs of traffic, but yet nothing to worry about. This allows us to quickly identify anomalies, and when something is out of the ordinary, quickly dive in at the company anywhere in the world at any site where something is happening right here from the same single pane of glass. So we see all users, all devices, all traffic, and all applications. If we're also interested a little bit in the actual names of the URLs and some more forensic data, we can switch to showing the actual host name that was used. We can see this particular host is here, and rather than try to get extra information for it ourselves, we can click the query button, which will open up a little bit more information about it that admins tend to try to do themselves using various websites or tools that they have. Quite handy, and all right here contained within the GUI. So we have visibility across all of our locations and all of our users and devices. We can filter for anything, we can look back in time, it's all right here in the single pane of glass. We also fully understand the power of the GUI and the fact that across the whole company you may have more than one admin. That's why in addition to logging all of the devices and all of their activity, we also log all of the activity that occurs in the GUI. So if a user that you have set up as an admin with privileges changes anything, we can see everything they edit, exactly what happens as a result, and that way you can backtrack if you need to do some auditing or you need to see what is going on and what happened right before an outage occurred so that you can somehow find a way to easily correct it. So with Ocedo, we give you full device management, you know everything that's connected anywhere in the network, and you also get full visibility into what's occurring on the network in real time. You also have full accountability for anybody who makes any change at any office anywhere in the world from, again, the same central GUI. These are some of the things that you can do when you have a product platform that's built from the ground up to work together and provide that all-important visibility into your company and its activities. Thanks very much for watching.